In a quiet little village, surrounded by green rice fields and golden sunlight, there lived an old woman named Amina Bibi. Her hair was silver like moonlight, her hands soft and wrinkled, and her eyes were full of warmth and light. Even though her body had grown weak with age, her heart was strong. She lived in a small clay house near a great banyan tree. Her husband had passed away long ago, and she had no children of her own. But Amina Bibi was never lonely, because her heart was filled with contentment and gratitude. Every morning she would sweep the front of her house, boil some tea, and sit beneath the banyan tree. Whoever passed by, children, farmers, or travelers, she would greet them with a kind smile and a prayer. Everyone in the village loved her, because even when life was hard, Amina Bibi never complained. The people of that village worked hard. Some were farmers with cracked hands and tired backs. Some were carpenters, shaping wood in the scorching sun. Others sold fruits and spices in the tiny market at the edge of the road. But life was not always kind. Sometimes the rain refused to come, and their crops turned to dust. Sometimes sickness spread, and families struggled to eat even one full meal. But through every storm, Amina Bibi's smile remained the same, calm, patient, and full of faith. Her quiet peace had become a source of comfort for everyone around her. One afternoon, a young woman named Sarah came to Amina Bibi's little house. Her eyes were red, her hands trembling as she spoke. "Bibi," she said, trying to hold back tears, "I don't know what to do anymore. My husband has gone to the city to find work. It's been months. No letter, no money. My children are hungry. I'm scared." Amina Bibi looked at her with gentle eyes. "Sit down, my dear. Breathe. Tell me, what do you think will happen?" Sarah wiped her tears. "I feel like something bad will happen. Maybe he couldn't find work. Maybe he forgot about us." Amina Bibi smiled softly, the corners of her eyes folding like paper. "My child, when we think bad thoughts, we feel worse. But when we think good thoughts, our heart feels lighter. Sometimes, good thoughts bring good things." Sarah looked confused. "But Bibi, how can I think good thoughts when everything around me feels broken?" Amina Bibi chuckled warmly. "Let me tell you a story," she said. Amina Bibi began softly, her voice carrying the weight of years. "Once, there was a poor man named Yusuf. He had nothing, no food, no home, no one to care for him. One day he sat by the river and cried. An old traveler passed by and asked, 'Why are you crying, my son?' Yusuf said, 'Because I have nothing. How can I be happy?' The traveler smiled and said, 'You have the river beside you, flowing, alive. You have the trees, giving shade. You have the sun, reminding you that light always returns after darkness. If you keep thinking about what you don't have, your heart will stay heavy. But if you look around at what you do have, you'll find peace.'" Yusuf didn't believe it at first. But slowly, he looked up, at the birds flying free, at the sound of the river, at the beauty of life still around him. And for the first time, he smiled. From that day, his life began to change. Not because something magical happened, but because he changed how he thought. Amina Bibi looked into Sarah's eyes and said, "You see, my dear, peace doesn't come when problems disappear. It comes when your heart learns to stay calm despite them." Sarah whispered, "So, my thinking can change my life?" Amina nodded. "Yes. When you wake up each morning, say to yourself, 'Today will be a good day.' Even if the sky is cloudy, even if the world feels heavy, remember Allah is still watching. He knows your struggles. And when you fill your heart with hope, you find strength to keep going." Sarah smiled faintly through her tears. "I understand, Bibi. I will try to think good thoughts from now." "That's the first step, my dear," said Amina, gently patting her hand. Days turned into weeks. Every morning Sarah woke up, took a deep breath and whispered, "Today will be a good day, inshallah." She worked harder, smiled more, and prayed with a heart full of hope. And one morning, as the village was still waking up, the postman came down the dusty road calling her name. He handed her a letter. Sarah's hand shook as she opened it. It was from her husband, Ibrahim. He had found a stable job in the city. He was sending money home and would soon return. Sarah's eyes filled with tears, not of fear but of joy. She ran to Amina Bibi's house, her voice trembling with happiness. "Bibi, he found work. He's coming home." Amina smiled, her eyes glistening. "You see, my dear? When we think positive, we invite good things into our life. Problems will always come. But when we face them with faith, Allah opens doors we never imagined." Soon, everyone in the village heard about Sarah's story and about Amina Bibi's wisdom. People began coming to her, young and old, men and women, carrying their worries like heavy stones. And each time, Amina Bibi gave them the same advice. Think good thoughts, speak good words, trust Allah, and good will come. Slowly, the village began to change. People complained less and prayed more. They began to help one another. They thanked Allah for every small blessing, rain after drought, food after hunger, peace after worry. And whenever anyone asked Amina Bibi, "How do you stay happy all the time?" she would smile gently and say, "Because I talk to Allah more than I talk about my problems." And so, that little village learned something beautiful, that happiness doesn't come from a life without struggle. It comes from a heart full of gratitude and trust. Amina Bibi's house still stood under the shade of the banyan tree. Her steps grew slower with age, but her smile never faded. Because she knew the secret. When you stop complaining, life starts whispering blessings. When you thank Allah for what you have, He gives you more. And when you fill your heart with hope and faith, peace finds you, even on the hardest days.